New housing affordability commitments will be front and center in this afternoon's fall economic statement. Senior government sources tell CTV News Ottawa will announce $15 billion in low-interest loans. This is to build 30,000 new rental homes. Housing rights organizations say the government needs to do more to build and preserve affordable housing options. So Annie Hoggins is the executive director of the Canadian Centre for Housing Rights. She's our guest this morning. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
So the new measures to add to recent affordable housing policy developments from the federal government, those range from removing GST from new rental home construction to what we've seen, which is municipalities signing on to the Housing Accelerator Fund. What's your take on these measures that have been put in place so far?
So far, the federal government has the first national housing strategy that we've had in over 30 years. So that is a step in the right direction. It was put in place in 2019. As you sort of mentioned, there are some criticisms of the plan. The targets are not as high as they need to be. And some of the definitions of affordability are not there, so that some of the housing that's being produced is not affordable to the Canadians who need it most. We're in an unprecedented housing crisis right now. So anything the federal government can do to show leadership on this issue is really welcome, and we're eager to sort of see what the announcement will say later today. But we really want to see sort of more targeted funding for affordable housing in addition to rental housing.
Yeah, let's dig into that a little bit. What would good news look like for you out of this announcement?
Yeah, well, I think a lot more funding dedicated towards social and actually affordable housing. So the definition of what they deem affordable is something that I think needs to be looked at. In addition, we've heard that $15 billion is dedicated to rental housing, but we're looking forward to seeing what the definition there is and how much of that is actually going to be dedicated to social housing and nonprofit housing. We've heard that perhaps $1 billion will be targeted to that, but that will not create the level of affordability that we need. A recent report that came out from the Federal Housing Advocate estimated that we need 8 million new affordable homes by 2031 to sort of make sure everyone's got a home that they can afford to live in, and that's a bigger gap than we were seeing in previous CMHC reports, which said 3.5 million. So there's a lot of work to be done. We'd really like to see the federal government continue to show this leadership that's been missing for about 30 years and is what kind of got us into this crisis in the first place.
Yes, I've heard that from several advocates. Hey, Annie, I want to ask you something that gets a lot of attention, and this is short-term rentals. The Toronto Star is reporting that the government's going to propose a new measure that bars short-term rental owners from claiming rental expenses against their income. So what effect are short-term rental units having on access to affordable places to rent?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They are really impacting the availability of the rental housing stock in this country. So if you think about it, these programs were designed to do home sharing. However, people found a way around that and started operating essentially ghost hotels, which take rental housing off of the long-term rental market and make it sort of available to vacationers. And in British Columbia alone, 16,000 are estimated. Those are the number of units that have been taken off the rental market. So any measures that can support returning those to the rental market are very welcome. The federal government, it's very encouraging to see that they are paying attention to this issue by saying they'll fund municipalities to enforce these rules and that they will also remove any tax incentives that people have to break the rules. So we're really, really pleased to see that aspect of it, absolutely.
A lot of eyes and ears watching the announcement coming out this afternoon, in particular for housing. Annie Hoggins, always good to talk to you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.